So 2018 is over, and what a year it's been. But we're not about dwelling on the past, so today we're going to look at the upcoming year and list every Premier League club's biggest worry going into 2019. Arsenal missing out on the top 4. It's been a great start of life under Unai Emery, but it'll mean nothing if the Gunners don't return to the Champions League next season. I mean, that's maybe a bit over the top, but it'll be a huge blow considering how well they're playing so early into the new manager's tenure. Arsenal are doing better than people imagined, with the players quickly buying into Emery's ethos. They have some amazing players, but ones that need to be playing Champions League football. Bournemouth losing Callum Wilson. When you're a smaller club like Bournemouth and have someone playing as well as Callum Wilson, the rumours are just around the corner. The England forward has been linked with a big money move to Chelsea, which is a testament to how well he's been playing. If Wilson continues to score goals, it's only a matter of time before he gets an even bigger move, which will be a worry for the Cherries. For their sake, hopefully he stops scoring. Brighton standing still. This might sound like an odd one, but just hear me out. Brighton have had a great start to the season, and it already looks like they'll avoid relegation once again. But they cannot afford to rest on the laurels. Just because they're on course to achieve their objective, they must keep progressing. We've seen so many teams get to 40 points and basically down tools, and Chris Hughton must make sure that doesn't happen at Brighton. Burnley going down. I mean, this hasn't been a great season for Burnley, has it? Last year was amazing, but they're somewhat paying the price. Playing in the early rounds of the Europa League was a bit of a setback for the Clarets, who are now competing near the basement of the Premier League. Unless he has a big January, kicking Burnley in the Premier League could be a tough job for gravel-toned Sean Dyche. Can he do it? Let us know in the comments below. Cardiff City going down. Another club whose main goal is survival. Is it really attainable for Neil Warnock's side? To be honest, yeah, they've done a lot better than I thought they would, and are actually in the mix to survive come the end of the season. Neil Warnock is clearly loving the Premier League ride and will want to continue it into his 70s. If not, he'll have to start going to the post office to collect his pension. Chelsea losing Eden Hazard. It happens every transfer window, but the rumours of Eden Hazard refuse to go away, and the longer he goes without signing a new contract, the more likely it is that he leaves Stamford Bridge. When you're a player of Eden Hazard's ability, it's no surprise that the likes of Real Madrid are interested, especially as they continue to look for a Ronaldo replacement. It may not be in January, but when the summer comes round, Chelsea should be very worried about losing their Belgian megastar. Crystal Palace going down and losing Wilfried Zaha. It's a double header, as one disaster will likely result in another disaster. If Crystal Palace don't find a way to score goals, they'll go down, and if they go down, they won't be able to keep a hold of Wilfried Zaha. He signed a bumper new contract in the summer to keep him at Selhurst Park, but that's not worth the paper it was written on. Roy Hodgson's side are struggling badly, with not even Wilfried Zaha able to inspire them up the table. Everton not challenging for the top 6. The Toffees have spent a lot of money in recent years as they look to close the gap on the top 6. It's a hard nut to crack, but Everton need to show signs of progress. This season they're doing well, but still need to up their game to ensure they remain in touching distance of 6th spot. They might not get there, but they've got to be challenging considering the money that's been invested. If they just labour to a mid-table finish, you begin to wonder what was the point in spending all that money. Fulham, Claudio Ranieri not turning things round. This is just a roundabout way of saying Fulham's biggest worry is going down. It's true of a lot of teams, to be honest. Relegation is a very real fear. Fulham acted early in changing their manager, with Slavisa Jokanovic failing to get the best out of his expensively assembled squad. The next man tasked with that job is the Tinkerman Claudio Ranieri, back in the Premier League after his Leicester heroics. It won't be more special than winning the title, but Ranieri will have done really well to keep Fulham's heads above water. Huddersfield Town going down. Hey, that rhymed. And my words are there are a lot of teams in this relegation battle. Why are there so many naff teams in the Premier League? Huddersfield worked miracles last season, and they need another one to make it back-to-back survival quests. They don't have the biggest budget and they're not the traditional Premier League club, so fans may have to enjoy the ride while they can. Or Wagner keeps them up, of course, that is a very real possibility. Leicester City replacing Jamie Vardy. Leicester was a difficult one, and we didn't know what to go with, so we figured they'll need to start thinking about a Jamie Vardy replacement soon, with the forward set to turn 32 in January. Vardy's electric pace is his biggest asset, but the older he gets, the more that pace will disappear. We're not saying they need to bin off Vardy, but they need to have a viable replacement lined up, unless Kelechi Iheanacho can get amongst the goals, of course. Liverpool, the Premier League title race. At the start of the season, most people said that City would win it again, but Liverpool would run them closest, and that's exactly what's happened so far, with the pair away at the top. Liverpool are realistic, they know how good City are, and want to make it a competitive title race as they can. Losing out won't be the biggest worry, but it will be a worry if Man City can go on to run away with the title like they did last season. Manchester City struggling in the Champions League. While the Premier League is easy for Manchester City in relative terms, they're yet to crack the Champions League. They topped their group this year, and Guardiola fancy his chances going deep into the competition. Last year they were stopped by a rampant Liverpool, but City seem to be a bit more streetwise this season, so they could be a force in Europe, and they were my pick to win the whole thing at the start of the season. Manchester United, Solskjaer failing to improve things. I mean, this was an odd appointment, wasn't it? When Mourinho lost his job, we were all talking about Pochettino and Zidane, but a day later former Red Devils forward Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was appointed as caretaker boss. The baby-faced assassin struggled in his last spell in the Premier League. I mean, he was relegated with Cardiff, so Manchester United fans might be worried that things won't pick up despite a former hero returning. Newcastle United, no takeover. Will it happen, will it not? The Newcastle takeover saga has rambled on, and it will be key to the future of Newcastle United. If it happens, it could be roses at St James's Park, with a bit of investment and a happy Rafa Benitez. No takeover, and it could be the same old story of no money to spend as Rafa worked with his hands tied behind his back before he leaves at the end of the season. With a bit of luck, this takeover will actually have happened by the time this video goes out. I'll look stupid, but it'll be a small price to pay. Southampton, no change in Ralph Hasenhüttl. The Saints rolled the dice by sacking Mark Hughes and went big by bringing in the well-respected Ralph Hasenhüttl, or the Klopp of the Alps as he's being known. He has a big job on his hands, but there's got to be a word that even he can't fix things at St Mary's. They were lucky to avoid the drop last season, but will they have the same luck this time out? Tottenham never playing in that new stadium. I mean, what a saga this has been. The only way you can actually play at Tottenham's new stadium is if it's on FIFA. They were meant to be moving in early on in the season, yet they're still mucking up the Wembley turf instead. Oh no, wait, that was the NFL, wasn't it? With their Mickey Mouse sport. Tottenham's new stadium will be lovely when it's eventually finished, but my word, they're taking their time. Typical builders. Watford doing a Watford. We've seen it all before. Watford start brilliantly, then their form falls off a cliff. And sometimes they sack the manager as well. While that might not happen this season due to Javi Gracia signing a new contract, there's still a worry that come January they'll give up on football once again and see how close they can get to the relegation zone. It's not big and it's not clever, lads. Grow up. West Ham United losing Marko Arnautovic. Just when things are starting to go well at West Ham, the talk of Marko Arnautovic leaving started again. Since arriving, the Austrian has been a talisman in claret and blue, but his strong form has caught the attention elsewhere. It would be a huge blow to West Ham if they were to lose him, and it would be a massive backward step for the club as they look to establish themselves in the top half of the Premier League. Wolves losing Ruben Neves. I mean, it's still baffling that Ruben Neves is actually a Wolves player. But when Jorge Mendes is your agent, the next move could be just around the corner, which has to be the worry with Wolves ever since they started signing players of Neves' calibre. He'll certainly have lofty ambitions, and it's up to Wolves to prove he can achieve them there. He's a Champions League level player, but at the minute Wolves aren't a Champions League level club. Obviously because they've just been promoted from the Championship. So that's every team's biggest worry in 2019. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And a Happy New Year!